Have you ever wondered what drives people to achieve incredible feats, against all odds? This question provokes a deep dive into the powerful realm of self-motivation. It's a force that exists within us all, waiting to be harnessed, and it can be the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Imagine a world where the only source of motivation comes from external factors, from the applause of a crowd, the praise of a boss, or the lure of a trophy. This type of motivation, while intoxicating, is fleeting. It's a short-term adrenaline rush that fades as quickly as it arrives, leaving us craving for more. This is the realm of external motivation. Now let's shift gears and venture into the world of internal motivation, or self-motivation as it's frequently called. This type of motivation is not dependent on external rewards or recognition. Instead, it's fueled by an inner desire to grow, to learn, to achieve, and to overcome. Self-motivation is enduring and authentic. It's a consistent inner flame that keeps burning, pushing us forward, even when the applause fades, the boss is silent, and the trophy is gathering dust. The power of self-motivation can be seen in the life stories of many successful individuals. Consider the case of Thomas Edison, whose relentless pursuit of invention was driven not by fame or fortune, but by a deep-seated curiosity and a desire to contribute to the world. Or think about Malala Yousafzai, who, despite being shot by the Taliban for advocating for girls' education, continues to fight for her cause, driven by a profound belief in equality and justice. These individuals, and countless others like them, credit their achievements not to external rewards, but to an inner drive, a self-motivation that propels them to push boundaries, break barriers, and make a difference. Now hold on to that thought. Let's dive deeper into the fascinating world of self-motivation. Scene script. Fact number 1. Did you know that self-motivation is directly linked to personal satisfaction and happiness? Imagine for a moment the human mind as an intricate machine. At the heart of this machine is the engine of self-motivation. It's this engine that powers us, compelling us to take on challenges, pursue our passions, and reach for our dreams. It's this engine, this inner drive, that propels us forward, even in the face of adversity. Let's delve deeper into the psychological aspects of self-motivation. It's not just about having the will to succeed, but also about maintaining a positive outlook. When you're self-motivated, you're in a better position to manage stress, cope with setbacks, and bounce back from failures. You see, self-motivation acts as a buffer, a shield that keeps negativity at bay, thereby contributing to your overall well-being. Now let's talk about goals. Those lofty ambitions we all have. Whether it's landing that dream job, running a marathon, or mastering a new skill, it's our self-motivation that gives us the strength to set these goals and the determination to achieve them. It's our self-motivation that pushes us to strive for more, to reach higher, to refuse to settle for less than we're capable of achieving. Think of self-motivation as the fuel that keeps the engine of your mind running. The more fuel you have, the further you can travel. And the further you travel, the more experiences you gain, the more achievements you rack up, and the more self-esteem you build. Yes, there's a strong correlation between self-motivation and self-esteem. The more self-motivated you are, the more confident you become in your abilities and the more faith you have in your potential. So let's not underestimate the power of self-motivation. It's more than just a psychological concept, it's a force within us, a force that can ignite our passion, drive our progress, and shape our destiny. Indeed, self-motivation is a key ingredient to a satisfying and fulfilling life. Fact number 2. Self-motivation is not just a mindset, but it's deeply rooted in our biology. This might come as a surprise, but the science of self-motivation is fascinating and tells us a lot about how our brains operate. Let's dive into the neurological aspect first. When we set a goal and take steps towards achieving it, our brain's reward system lights up. This is due to a neurotransmitter called dopamine, often referred to as the feel-good hormone. Dopamine is released when we experience something pleasurable or rewarding, and it plays a crucial role in motivation. Here's how it works. Imagine you set a goal to read a book every month. Each time you finish a chapter, your brain releases a small amount of dopamine. This release makes you feel good and motivates you to keep going. And when you finish the book, a big dopamine hit. You're not just happy because you achieved your goal, but because your brain rewards you with a burst of pleasure. But the story doesn't end here. Our brain is not just reactive, but also proactive. It anticipates rewards and releases dopamine even before we achieve our goal. This anticipatory release is what keeps us motivated in the long run. It's like a carrot dangling in front of us, urging us to keep moving forward. However, dopamine is not the only player in the game. Other hormones like serotonin, which is linked to happiness, and oxytocin, often associated with social bonding and trust, also play significant roles in self-motivation. When these hormones are in balance, we feel more motivated, focused, and emotionally stable. This shows us that self-motivation is not just a psychological phenomenon, it's a complex interplay of neurotransmitters and hormones that makes us want to achieve more, do better, and keep pushing forward. So the next time you motivate yourself, remember, your brain is cheering you on. Fact number 3. Self-motivation is a common trait among successful individuals across various fields. Imagine, if you will, a world where Thomas Edison gave up on the light bulb after his first few failures. A world where J.K. Rowling stopped writing after being rejected by multiple publishers. Or perhaps a world where Steve Jobs let his initial setbacks with Apple discourage him from pushing forward. That's a world none of us would want to live in, right? But what's the common thread that ties these individuals together? It's self-motivation. Thomas Edison, after countless failed attempts, finally invented the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's self-motivation. That's the relentless pursuit of success, the refusal to be deterred by failure. J.K. Rowling, the mind behind the magical world of Harry Potter, faced numerous rejections before her manuscript was finally accepted. She once said, "It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case, you fail by default." That's the power of self-motivation. It's what allows us to rise from the ashes of failure stronger and more determined than before. And then there's Steve Jobs, who, despite being ousted from his own company, returned years later to make it one of the most successful tech companies in the world. He once stated, "I'm convinced that about half of what separates the successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance." That's self-motivation. It's the grit and determination that keeps us going no matter what. These stories aren't just about success, they're about the journey to success. They're about the power of self-motivation in overcoming obstacles, persevering in the face of adversity, and never giving up on our dreams. As you can see, self-motivation is the fuel that keeps the engine of success running. Now the question arises, how can you cultivate self-motivation? Let's dive into some practical tips and strategies to help you develop this crucial trait. To start, it's essential to set realistic goals. Aiming for the stars is great, but it's equally important to ensure that your goals are achievable. Break down your larger goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. This step-by-step approach not only makes the journey less daunting, but it also offers a sense of accomplishment with each small victory, fueling your motivation to continue. Next, maintaining a positive mindset is key. Life is full of ups and downs, but it's how we perceive and react to these situations that truly matters. Embrace failures as opportunities to learn and grow. Remember, every setback is a setup for a comeback. Cultivate an optimistic outlook, celebrate your achievements, however small, and keep the faith in your abilities. This positive mentality can work wonders in boosting your self-motivation. Now, let's talk about self-discipline. It's the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It involves making choices that may seem tough in the present, but will lead to long-term benefits. It's about resisting short-term temptations in favor of long-term gains. Consistency is the key here. Make a schedule, stick to it, and gradually, you'll see the fruits of your discipline and perseverance. Lastly, identify your personal motivations. What drives you? What makes you leap out of bed in the morning? Once you discover these driving forces, use them to your advantage. Let them be the fuel that propels you towards your goals. Whether it's the desire to create a better life for yourself and your loved ones, or the ambition to make a difference in the world, harness these motivations to keep you moving forward. Remember, the power to achieve your dreams lies within you. Unlock it with self-motivation.